The views presented today are provided by the AMAC Foundation Social Security Advisors, certified by the National Social Security Association, LLC. They do not necessarily represent the views of the Social Security Administration. The information presented today does not constitute financial, legal, or tax advice and should be used for informational purposes only. Since individual circumstances vary, you should consult your legal, tax, or financial advisors before making any financial decisions. AMAC Foundation is not affiliated with or endorsed by the Social Security Administration or any governmental agency. Welcome back. And just a quick recap of what we talked about last week. Covered a lot of material. We're going to cover a lot of material today too, so kind of detailed. I did send the slides to everybody this morning. You should have them. And as I mentioned in my email, the video recordings of parts 1 and part 2 are available now on our website if you want to go back and rewatch those and refresh. But we're getting ready now to. Well, let me take a quick review of part 2. We talked about people that are single and never married and what their benefit options were. We talked about spousal benefits. We talked about this thing called the restricted application. We talked about deemed filing, trying to clear up the mystique about deemed filing and how the Social Security Administration views things under the deemed filing provisions. Talked about widow benefits and the effects of remarrying and what that does to your options. We talked about divorced spouse benefits. And we ended with a brief discussion on common law and civil unions and how they affect Social Security. So that was a quick recap of part 2. And again, the video is available if you want to go back and check that out. So we're moving right into part 3. Part 3 is going to be a kind of a smorgasbord of subjects regarding specific kinds of benefits. Benefits that are available to children, benefits for adult disabled children, adopted children, stepchildren. And we're going to talk about benefits that are available to parents that are dependent on a child. We're going to talk extensively then about disability benefits, Ssdi, a very complex area of Social Security. And we're going to talk about this thing called family maximums, which is a kind of an obscure set of logic that Social Security has to control the overall amount of benefits available to a particular, on a particular earner's record. So that's what we're going to close with today. And with that, as I customarily do, I'm going to turn it over to the experts, Eileen and Sharon. So ladies, it's all yours.
Thank you. Well, let's start out with children's benefits. And we really should eligibility for children's benefits. Now, the child can be biological, adopted, stepchild. And under certain circumstances, it can be a grandchild as well, or grandchildren, I should say. Now, just to statistically wise, Social Security paid for retired children of retired workers. It was over 704,000, which represents 1.1% of the Social Security payout. And like we said, if the parent is disabled or retired, now for statistic-wise, disabled children is 1.3 million. That Social Security has benefit, which is 2.1% of Social Security beneficiaries. Another thing is parent must be eligible for Social Security benefits, or if the parent is deceased. And just for survivor benefits for children alone is 1.9 million, or 3% of Social Security beneficiaries. So now we should caveat something. The parent must have worked long enough in a job where they paid Social Security taxes. Correct, Sharon?
Correct.
Okay, next slide. And there's a few things about children's benefits. The child must be unmarried, of course, and under the age of 18, 19 to full student grade 12 or under, 18 or older with disability that began before age 22. Now, we have to make it clear or noted Disability, definition of Social Security disability is different than the average Joe on the street. So it has to meet the Social Security's definition of disability. We have to put it out there. So, and then of course you have the stepchild, the grandchild, or adopted child. Now the grandchild must have lived with the grandparent for at least 1 year before turning 18 and must be dependent upon the grandparent for at least a half of their support for a year prior to the grandparent's eligibility for Social Security. Now, also the parent must be disabled, retired, or entitled to Social Security benefits, or the parent must be worked long enough in a job where they paid Social Security taxes. Next slide.
And just a little further on, when you have adult disabled children before the age of 22, a lot of times they're not going to qualify for financial assistance because all they would receive would be SSI. But when in a situation like that, they should officially be deemed disabled by Social Security before their 22nd birthday, so they will be eligible on the parent's record later in their lifetime.
Okay, and we'll get further into details later on in the slides. And now we'll continue. For adopted children already receiving benefits, adopting parent must notify Social Security of costs, and the benefits will continue. For a stepchild or children, depending on the step parent, dependency must be at least 1/2 of their financial support and maintenance. And if the parent or in step-parent divorce, the stepchild's benefits will end the following month in which the divorce is final.
No, the stepchildren can receive benefits on the step-parent even if their other actual biological parent is still alive, as long as the step-parent is providing over that 1/2 of their financial support.
That's a good point to make, that, you know, the person, the biological parent can be still alive.
They can still be alive and you can still get benefits for the stepchild.
Okay. Now this is when we get into the adult disabled children. If the disability began for the reached age 22, and as Sharon said, it's important to have them file with Social Security for disability prior to their 22nd birthday. And they can receive benefits in the account of the parent. And after reaching age 18, can apply for supplemental Social Security income. Now, Sharon, you were saying something this morning?
At that time, they can get SSI because once the adult disabled child turns 18, parents are no longer responsible for their support. So they can actually receive SSI, supplemental security income, regardless of their parents' income.
Okay. And then when the parent retires or becomes disabled, the disabled child can file a disabled adult child benefits on the parent's record. Just for
it is actually required by law that if you have an adult disabled child receiving SSI, when one of the parents should apply for Social Security benefits, they have to sign that adult disabled child up on their Social Security record. Otherwise, the child could actually lose their SSI if this isn't done.
That's
so you have to actually, when you apply for your retirement benefit, you have to apply for the disability benefit for your adult disabled child. It's going to go by the same rules. It's going to convert over where they'll actually then get Ssdi based on your record versus SSI, and then the benefits under your record are not subject to an asset limit where the benefits under SSI are.
That's important.
So at that time, you can actually, the child can inherit, the child can have savings, because there's no income limit, no asset limit on the change in benefits when they go to SSDI versus SSI.
And just to think about this, in 2020, Social Security Administration paid over 346,000 adult disabled children. So that's a thought.
There's quite a few out there. We deal with parents all the time wanting to know how to handle it as they start filing for benefits and they have an adult disabled child in the home.
So this one is an interesting one. Granted, it's only as of December 20th, 2020, Social Security had 1,000 benefits for dependent parents, which I never knew existed until we went through the accreditation that the survivor benefit for a parent financially dependent on a deceased child. The survivor must be 62, must have been dependent at least 50% of support at the time of death, must not have remarried after death, must file proof of support with SSA timely. Did we ever get, I would assume it's right after the death of the child, I would assume.
That was supporting them, that they would file.
And
it's one of those benefits they'd have to contact Social Security.
Oh yeah, so it's not a guarantee. It's not like a survivor benefit type of deal, you know, it's like a spousal survivor benefit type of deal.
No, they have to prove the child was supporting them.
Yeah.
And the reason you really don't hear about this and it's not largely used is because it does affect the family max.
Yeah.
So if that surviving parent was being supported by the child, when there's children involved, it would actually take benefits away from those children.
So that's another thought.
Yeah, this does affect the family max.
Okay. And we'll discuss the family max in a couple more slides. It is, both Sharon and I laugh because it's very complicated. It can be very complicated. Let's put it this way. And if you throw more things in it, you just pull your hair out. But anyway, so as you can see, single dependent parent gets 82.5% of the deceased PIA, 75% each for two parent situations. So.
And these parents can't be married.
Yeah. So, next slide. SSDI. So, basically, it is general rules you must be expected to be disabled longer than 12 months, unable to work, or the condition must be considered to be the result in death. You must qualify on your own work record. You cannot qualify on your spouse's work record. Year of disability becomes your full-time retirement age for benefit calculation. Basically, SS ignores the 35-year work history rule and only considers work history prior to the disability. So. This is a lot of things, especially the third bulletin, which is must have worked at least 5 years out of the last 10 years before you become disabled. I don't know how many people, you have to think of it as just, well, it is Social Security Disability Insurance. So it is an insurance. So if you don't pay your FICA taxes, you're not going to be able to qualify for this.
It's like any other insurance, you don't pay into it, it expires.
Exactly. So once you qualify for SSDI benefits, and they will continue until your full retirement age, then converts to retirement benefits. Now, if you become disabled after 62 and before your full retirement age, you can file for disability and your reduced retirement benefits at the same time. This enables you to receive some kind of benefit while your case is pending. And that's, we have a few people that, have not taken their benefits, have become disabled after 62, but they need to get the money into the house. So
Your second bullet point there, Eileen, benefits continuing until full retirement age. That's something we get a lot of questions about frequently. That's an automatic process.
Yes,
Is it not?
yes.
Yes, you don't have to do anything. It'll just automatically convert to your own retirement benefit. The only difference is you're no longer subject to the disability rules, and your money's coming out of the
A different trust fund.
retirement part of the Social Security Trust Fund versus out of the disability part of the trust fund.
Yeah, in reality, it becomes more of an automatic accounting kind of thing for the SSA. There's nothing that the recipient actually needs to do, and that's where we get a lot of questions.
Yeah, that is, I mean, it is correct, you know, it's just a matter of moving you over from the disability trust fund, going over to the retirement.
Correct. Now, a little more, if you should become disabled and you're 62, at least 62, when you make this decision, okay, I'm going to apply for disability and my reduced retirement benefit at the same time, what happens is this allows you to collect your retirement benefit at a reduced rate while your disability case is pending. And a disability case can take up to 2 years sometimes to be settled, depending on the condition you're applying under. When making that decision to do this, if and when you win your disability case, they will increase your benefit to your full retirement amount. Back pay would be the difference between your reduced benefit and your full benefit for the period you were deemed disabled. But you have to look at the fact, can I afford to live on this reduced benefit? Should I lose my disability case? Because if you lose your disability case, that will be your permanent benefit.
Yeah.
So you should take that into consideration when looking at this option.
Correct. So, next slide. Now this is what happens, and I think I'll mention something at the end of the slide. If you become disabled after you've already started receiving your early retirement benefits. Now, if you've already reached your full retirement age and you become, let's say you're still working, you plan on working to 70, your full retirement age is 66, you become disabled when you're 68. Can you file for Social Security disability? Sharon, you want to break it to them?
No, the option to file for disability ends when you reach your full retirement age. When you're reading this, they're talking about you've started your benefits at 62. For example, you become disabled at 64. You still have the option to file for disability. And if you win your disability case, you will get a higher benefit, but it will be reduced by the months you received it before you became disabled. So it will not equal your full retirement age amount.
No. And when you do finally reach your full retirement age, it will still be at the reduced rate, correct?
Correct. It will be whatever you're receiving when you reach your full retirement age. It'll just convert to your retirement benefit with no change in the amount. So that would mean it would be the amount because they're going to reduce it by the 48 months, 2 years, 24 months you've already received benefits using 64 as an example. So you never get those months back. No. It's just permanently reduced, but it's higher than what you received at 62.
Correct. Okay, so of course, you become disabled at different ages in your life. At age 31 and older, you're required to have credits over a 10-year period ranging from 20 to 40 credits, depending on what age you become disabled. Next slide. And if you're If it's under 31, you can see the breakdown before age 24 and between age 24 and 31 that you have to have so many credits to be eligible for disability. So.
And the calculation of disability is totally different than the calculation for your regular retirement benefits, especially if you're under the age of 60. They could use anywhere from only using your highest year of earnings to maybe your 5 highest years of earnings. It's just a totally different calculation to get you the maximum benefit possible. But once you're up to age 62, it usually is equivalent to your full retirement age amount at that time.
Now, if you're eligible for spousal benefits, that benefit being higher than your SSDI benefit, we have an option. The option is apply as early as 62 for your spousal benefit. Remember, when you take a benefit prior to the full retirement age, the reduction will be permanent. But the good thing is you're not affected by the deemed filing rules, which we covered last week. So you can actually delay taking your spousal benefit until your full retirement age to receive the full 50% of your spouse or ex-spouse's benefit. So you're not required, if you're on SSDI at 62, to take your spousal benefit if you do not want to. You can wait till your full retirement age and then apply for your spousal benefit.
Now, the interesting thing about someone that's on disability and they apply for their spousal benefit early is you will actually receive 2 individual payments. You will receive your full SSDI benefit, and then whatever amount your spousal benefit is, you'll receive that in a separate payment. Once again, that's due to the fact that you have the disability trust fund and the retirement trust fund. So you'll actually see 2 separate deposits in your bank account, which will total the combined benefit with your spousal benefit.
Correct. Now coming to our favorite part. Family maximum. Well, we should explain that.
Well, these figures change every year.
Yeah.
They always seem to increase, and they always go by the year you turn 62, or if you die in the current year. What you're looking at is their bend points for calculating how high the family max will be. Now, on a retirement benefit, your family max can be anywhere from 150% to 188% of the worker's PIA, which you remember is primary insurance amount, which is usually equal to their full retirement age benefit.
Correct. And that gives you the breakdown.
Now, the family max does not affect 2 spouses' benefits. If you both have max benefits for this year, what is the max benefit? For someone reaching their full retirement age in 2021, they can actually have a maximum benefit of $3,148. Well, if you're both maximum earners, family max doesn't affect you. You both will receive 100% of your benefits. This is when there are children, adult disabled children, parents, that the family max comes into play. And there are so many grandparents out there that have adopted grandchildren So this has become quite common that they have children on their Social Security benefits, and depending on the number of children, this limits the amount a family is allowed to receive, either as a dependent while they're still alive or as a survivor.
Correct. So this is the formula for retirement and survivor benefits. Now let's look at the formula for disabled benefits.
The one for disabled is a lot stricter. It can actually result in someone not even getting dependent benefits on a disabled person. First off, the maximum, when a normal retirement benefit is calculated, they go by 90% of the worker's aim. That's the average index monthly earnings that we discussed previously in the Ben points for determining your retirement benefit. Well, they only use 85% of the worker's average index monthly earnings in the disability calculation.
Mm-hmm.
And the benefits are limited to 150% family max, and they can never be less than 100% of the worker's PIA. The worker will always get 100% of their benefit. If there's anything available for dependents, dependents will receive a benefit. If there's not, the dependents don't receive anything, and it does happen. They're not guaranteed on disability like a retirement.
No, it's not. And then the next one is the family max when it gets a little bit more complicated.
Okay, well, it never gets complicated.
No, it never gets complicated.
Okay, well, we covered actually the easy rules for retirement for survivors and Ssdi, but they do get more complicated. I say they should come with a warning label, do not try at home.
No.
Because you can have individuals receiving both a worker's benefit and a partial spousal benefit, or a child in care benefit, or both parents have their own benefits, and these are known as duly entitled beneficiaries. So then they start taking both parents' benefits and calculating them to increase the family max. A spouse can actually lose their spousal benefit to cover the children first. And then you also have individuals that are entitled to work benefits on their own earnings, as well as auxiliary benefits based on someone else's earnings. And then they only apply the family max to the auxiliary portion of the benefit. The auxiliary portion of a benefit is a spousal benefit. So sometimes a spouse will not receive their spousal benefit because the money will go to the children.
Right.
That's not confusing.
So, and then to continue, the combined family max, it gets better.
Yeah,
So,
that's where you have people qualifying on more than one worker's earning record. And this can really get confusing because it can go to where children where mom and dad are divorced, but then they had more children, and that all starts going in between both families. And family max is something you really need to speak with Social Security about, or someone that understands how to break it out and determine what your family max is. Like Eileen.
No. Because
And then they also have a statutory limit, and the sum of the family maximums when you're dealing with a combined family max cannot exceed that combined total. And for 2021, that combined total for the family max is $5,920.20.
Yeah.
And yes, we are available if you are dealing with Social Security and you feel your family max is incorrect. We are available to contact, and we will go over it for you.
Sharon, this is where Sharon just, shines.
We won't talk how much time I spent learning how to do this.
Correct.
Once you learn how to work with it, it's not that bad.
I mean, there are software and to do that, but Sharon learned by doing it manually. So it takes a lot of dedication to do that, to do something like that manually, when you can, other people just pop in software. So.
Okay, we did have a question. We did have a question about, I think, the automatic conversion from disability to retirement benefits. And the question was, does that happen at full retirement age, or does that happen at maximum age? The maximum age, of course, is simply the period, the end of the point after full retirement age when delayed retirement credits stop.
Mm-hmm.
But the conversion actually takes place at full retirement age. And in the example, or in the question, 66 and 10 months for someone born in 59 is correct. That is the full retirement age. So that's when the conversion would take place.
Yes. So you can't hold off and wait into, I think I know what you want to do is get delayed retirement credits while you're still on disability, then take your Social Security at 70. They won't do that.
Right.
Unfortunately, they go from, once you become full retirement age and Social Security disability benefits, you switched over to Social Security benefits at your full retirement age. Unfortunately, you cannot earn delayed retirement credits.
Yeah, that's the real negative of doing that. The delayed retirement credits stop.
Okay.
So.
Well, when someone's on, wait, did they stop that on disability?
I thought they did.
They stopped the restricted application for someone on disability. But when someone's on disability, but you got to completely shut off your benefits, you can actually stop your benefits when you reach your full retirement age and earn delayed retirement credits. But you have to be very, very careful. You cannot do this until the month before you reach your full retirement age, and you want to deal directly with Social Security because you don't want them to shut off your disability benefits before they convert to your retirement benefit, or all of a sudden their computer system's going to decide you owe them back all your disability money.
And they will shut off anybody who's listed on your Social Security disability, collecting under you.
It will shut off any dependents.
Yeah.
But you can actually, once your disability converts to your regular Social Security benefits, you can suspend your benefits and earn delayed retirement credits. But you get no benefits in the meantime, and either does your family if they're receiving anything. But just like when someone reaches their full retirement age, but they had to take their benefits early, now they're working, they got a good paying job, they want to increase their retirement benefit, they just suspend it at their full retirement age, and it will start earning delayed retirement credits on their current benefit amount.
So it is possible, but the timing has to be perfect.
The timing cannot be more than a month before.
Mhm.
You're going
And
to
you also
convert to your full retirement age and you need to deal directly with Social Security. You
Mhm.
might even have to contact someone like us to get the palms from the Social Security website to fight with Social Security to get them to allow you to do it. I've helped people.
But you
And
also have to remember that anyone that's a dependent that's listed under your benefit,
all their benefits are stopped until you
all their
turn your
benefits are
back
stopped.
on.
Yeah. So you have to take that into consideration too.
Right.
So,
But if it's just your own or you have no one drawing on your record and you're working and making good money and you want to enhance your benefit, you simply suspend it at your full retirement age.
I think the
I stand
watchword,
corrected.
the watchword is you just have to be very, very careful.
Yes.
When suspending your benefit when you're on disability, when you reach your full retirement age, have to be very careful.
Yep.
And you don't even contact Social Security until a month before.
Yeah.
Right. And that's one of the reasons we exist in our Social Security Advisory Services, to help you get prepared to do something like that.
Mm.
So,
We also point out the pros and cons of doing it also.
right.
You know, it's just not, we try to give you all options. We try to, and then you make that decision. So,
Yeah, again, our objective is to make sure that you're making the right decision for you.
mhm.
So,
Because Social Security is not there to maximize your benefits, as they're there to just process your application.
yep.
So,
Okay, that concludes our material for today. Thanks everybody again for joining us, and looking forward to part 4, the final part next week. Next week will be a very interesting discussion on these things called weapon GPO, which is the windfall elimination provision, and the government pension offset. Government pension offset.
makes us weak.
We get a lot of questions in this particular area, and this is an area that Sharon just absolutely loves working on. Weapon
That
GPO.
Oh, piece of cake.
And
She loves it.
we're also going to talk about the issue of taxation of benefits, federal taxation of benefits.
That's Jerry's.
Which is something that unfortunately is a very unpleasant surprise for a lot of new retirees. And we'll talk about how those tax calculations are made and what the different tiers are that affect how much of your benefit is actually subject to tax.
Mhm.
And we'll talk about also the lump sum death benefit that's available in Social Security. And we'll conclude with a discussion of people that are living offshore but drawing benefits, how that works.
Mhm.
And we'll end up with a sort of a brief discussion on Medicare.
Let's make it brief.
Particularly what the hold harmless clause is and how that affects the monthly Medicare Part B premiums. And then also we'll talk about this thing called IRMA and how that affects, how much your Part B premium actually is. And that's IRMA is IRMAA, which is, go ahead, Sharon.
Income related monthly adjustment amount.
Yep. Piece of cake.
Yep.
So that's.
I'm glad that he went to you.
I usually mess it up somewhere along the line. But
I have to think about it and I deal with it all the time.
Yeah.
Because we always call it IRMA. I have to
Yeah.
stop all the time, but I was ready for you today.
Yeah.
Okay, so that concludes part 3, and we will have this video posted within the next couple of days. We have to download them and edit them and then get them prepared for loading on the website. That takes a couple of days. So before we get to part 4, then part 3 will be on the website as well. And that website is amacfoundation.org. And on the amacfoundation.org, there's a videos page. And you click on the videos page and you'll get some selection options. And one of them is Social Security. You click on that and you'll see the videos. And as I've been doing for the past couple of sessions, I'll be sending the slides for next week to you ahead of the webinar. So we'll see you next Wednesday at 10 o'clock. And we'll thank you once again for joining us today.
Thank you.
So, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. See you next week.